Hello everybody, I'm Caden, and this shiny lady behind me is my Captain Phasma armor that I'm about to rebuild, and we are Adventures of a Stormtrooper. And today's adventure is, I got my Captain Phasma armor back from the chromer, and we're going to start putting her back together, so I thought I'd document the process of restrapping all the parts. I mean, as you can see, this shiny lady has quite a few pieces to her. The hand armor alone, just for TLJ Phasma, has 30 pieces. And then for TFA's Phasma's hand pieces, I have 20 pieces. So it's going to be quite to-do to put her all back together. I got Velcro to put her back together. I got the CRL all ready to go. And my reference photos from... These are the visual dictionaries from Star Wars, so it has the screen-accurate costumes with good pictures of them, which is helpful when you're kind of questioning. Some of the serial pictures are small and they're kind of hard to see on your phone too, so if you know what I'm talking about for the 501st. We're going to start putting her back together I just have a few minutes today, so I was going to put the shoes back together. I got brand new boots for her, because I thought if I'm upgrading the armor, I'm going to get new boots as well. The boots are from Imperial Boots, and he does an amazing job. All my boots that I wear are actually by him, and so does Lindsay. We love his boots. They're excellent quality, and I can't say enough good things about Imperial Boots. So let's get started.
Pew pew! Pew pew! Pew pew!
So my general plan for filming these videos is I'm going to explain what I'm going to do with each piece, and then kind of show you what I'm using to put them together and what tools I'm using to put them together. And then I'm going to time-lapse the whole thing, otherwise this video would be like 26 hours long, because that's probably roughly what we're probably looking at like 6 or 8 hours. I'm being a little dramatic because, you know, we're at the start. But the plan for the shoes is, it's pretty simple. You take the piece and you Velcro it on. That's all I did before, and it worked really well. And then we're going to take some of these, I got some of these Velcro dots, and we're going to take just not the abrasive side, I believe this is the soft side, and we're going to use it to pad the gaps between the armors so they don't rub. I used felt on the last time, and when I had to take it off, it was a nightmare because I used hot glue to glue it in on the inside. You can actually see the hot glue lines on the inside from last time. I did not realize hot glue would stick so well to the plastic. I thought it would be like everything else where you can kind of peel it back off. That was not the case. So we're going to go a little different, and I've had good luck with Velcro coming off on the plastic, so we're going to go with that instead. So we're going to get the left and the right boot. There's 3 pieces to each boot. There's the toe armor, midfoot, and then the heel that goes on the back here. So that's what we're going to do. And there we go, we got the first part done. We got the boots on. It's a little more challenging than I anticipated because these boots that I have here are much more screen accurate than the old ones. The other ones that I had were much wider. So the skinniness of this, because this is like a traditional TK boot, just black. Because Phasma does not wear the First Order Stormtrooper boots. She wears one with a heel. So there's a fun fact about Phasma. She doesn't wear the same style boots as the other FOTKs. So no, it turned out pretty good. Maybe we'll do a little test fit. Well, I tried my best to put them on, and then I put a spat of each one. On the left here, I have the Force Awakens spat, and then on the right here, I have, this is the TLJ spat, and you know, they're not going to fit real nice without their shin armor to go over the top. So, but all in all, I think I like the fit of them. I know they look kind of goofy because they don't have everything in place, and the spats are really dependent on the calf armor holding them in place. So this is just to get an idea of, if you read the CRL, they say the foot armor is consistent of 4 pieces: toe, midfoot, heel, and then the spats. So just to give a good idea of what they're going. But so far going well. I like it. Let's keep going. And as long as we were talking about these babies, let's do these guys next. We're going to kind of work our way up from Phasma from foot to head. So it just makes it more easier and logical to work problems out if they do pieces that can join together. Well, we finished the spats. It took a little longer than I thought just because it was futzy, and I actually added the Velcro onto the calf pieces because the calf pieces and the spats, as you can see, they work together really closely. So the padding in the spats is like the hardest to do because there's a lot of rub points when you walk. So that's what took so long, is I had to put all this kind of padding and Velcro on all the hot spots. So that's what kept seeing me take them on, take them off, take them on, take them off. But I kind of put an example here of this is TLJ, or episode, oh my gosh, I'm having a blank, 8, man, whew, Space Agent, and then 7, Force Awakens. So that's kind of the difference between the two spats wise, and we've got their counterparts all done and Velcroed up. So the next thing is, well, with the calves here, we need to work on is I actually have to paint this little pill area right here black, and then they'll be done. They just need a piece of Velcro up here to attach to my knee gaskets, but we're going to work on that a different day. We've been at it for a couple hours, so took the foot armor is, I always think is going to take not so long, and then it's always putzier than I want it to be. So we'll see you a different day. So today we're going to finish up the calves, and I just have a couple things to do on the calves. On the inside of the calf here, right here at the top, we're going to put 2 Velcro strips, because these connect to my gaskets, my knee gaskets. So the way to keep them from shifting and rotating, to keep their orientation, I just put a piece of Velcro. And then the other thing we have to do to finish up the calves, we have to paint in this pill part black, which I did confirm on the visual dictionary that hers is black. The CRL just says that the pill impression needs to be there, but from what I could tell, it looked like it needed to be black. So we're going to paint it black, and as long as I got the black paint out, there's another little detail. This is the forearm armor. This little square in the front needs to be black too. So as long as we're starting the painting process, the black painting, I thought I'd start little to see how these 2 pieces go with this paint. The paint that I'm using is Tessler's paint. It is enamel paint that modelers use to paint their models. Being enamel, and it's flat black, not glossy, flat. Being enamel paint, you need to use a paint thinner to clean your brushes. So I got Tessler's. I have more. I just needed more, so that I didn't buy a new one just for this. I did buy brand new brushes though, just for the occasion, just because the brushes that I did have were kind of old. So I just bought these off Amazon for like $6. Nothing fancy. And then I do have some paint to tape around the area here, so I don't get any paint outside the lines. So that's what we're doing today. Well, it went really well. The Tessler paint seemed to work really well. I got nice clean black lines. You saw me take the tape off right away, mostly because I wanted to be able to correct the edges of the tape outlines before they completely dry, because they're easier to kind of work with. At least I think. I don't know. These, I mostly put the tape around the edges just to make sure I didn't drip paint. I just free-handed the circles, because the racing track to make out of tape would be kind of a pain in the butt. So yeah, it looks really nice. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Looks just like it did before. So that's all we're gonna do today. This is just it's my rest day, so I'm not working out today, so I thought I'd fill my time by painting a couple pieces, and I wanted to start small before, you tackle the helmet and some of the other pieces that have bigger paint jobs. So I thought I'd start small with some of the smaller paint jobs. That way I could get a feel for it before we do the helmet. The helmet I'm kind of a little anxious about, but I'm excited to get it done because it looks kind of silly all gray. So, well, we'll see you again tomorrow. Well, it went really well. The Tessler paint seemed to work really well. I got nice clean black lines. You saw me take the tape off right away, mostly because I wanted to be able to correct the edges of the tape outlines before they completely dry, because they're easier to kind of work with. At least I think. I don't know. These, I mostly put the tape around the edges just to make sure I didn't drip paint. I just free-handed the circles because the racing track to make out of tape would be kind of a pain in the butt. So yeah, it looks really nice. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Looks just like it did before. So that's all we're gonna do today. This is just it's my rest day, so I'm not working out today, so I thought I'd fill my time by painting a couple pieces, and I wanted to start small before, you tackle the helmet and some of the other pieces that have bigger paint jobs. So I thought I'd start small with some of the smaller paint jobs. That way I could get a feel for it before we do the helmet. The helmet I'm kind of a little anxious about, but I'm excited to get it done because it looks kind of silly all gray. So, well, we'll see you again tomorrow. Okay, well, I lied. It's not tomorrow. It's now the weekend. We got busy at the end of the week, and yesterday we actually had a troop at the Oshkosh herd game. So it is now the weekend, so we're going to do it and start really powering through. I put all the finished pieces that I've been working on up on the couch. So we're going to move along up the legs because we just finished the shins to the knees. So the knees go on to the gaskets. The gaskets have the Velcro here, and this is where I was saying down here, the Velcro that will attach to the shin. So this one needs to be replaced on this side, but the knees just attach on with some Velcro. Nothing too hard or complicated about that. And then this is my harness that kind of most of my pieces fit onto, and it has snaps that snap into. So these two dangling pieces, because this buckles around my waist, these that dangle down like this are going to actually attach right here to the top of the thigh. So the top of the thigh is going to get a snap that will glue back on to where they so clearly used to be. And then the thighs are just going to get some Velcro right here. That's all the thighs need to do. So that's what we're going to do first, and then we'll keep moving our way up. And the way I attach these snaps, Phasma doesn't have quite as much resistance as my Stormtrooper thighs do, so I don't have to attach the snap to like plastic and then glue it on. These snaps actually do a really good job of just hanging on. I just put them on with super glue. And I have my clamps that I have put some Velcro on so it doesn't scratch the paint. Well, the thighs went together pretty easy. The hardest part is just cutting the Velcro to fit the contours and then making sure you got enough cinch in there that it'll fit around your thigh. Unfortunately, my thighs are kind of a problem thing as I got bigger thighs. So anybody with bigger thighs knows my pain here, but they went together good. We got new Velcro on the top of the gaskets, bottom of the gaskets, and knees are all fixed. So the next working on up is that bad boy over there, the abdominal armor. So we're going to have to paint this little section here, and then put Velcro over there. And at the same time, we're going to do the thermal detonator, because the thermal detonator attaches on right there. I do not have my thermal detonator attached on the same way as a traditional FOTK. A traditional FOTK, in their CRL, see the seam up the back here? This is where you would split the seam up the back. This joint would be glued together and filled over, much like I have this side where it's seamless. But the Phasma CRL says nothing of that. And I built this before I realized that I wanted to go like all the way to Centurion. I just kind of built her to the best of my ability at the time. So, you know, you deal with the mistakes. But since the Phasma CRL does not say seamless is required, I did fill in this side. This was an improvement during painting. So this side is now seamless-ish. Some of my Bondo work is not the greatest, but yeah. And then so that's the next plan. So this needs to be black right here on the end, this end cap here, and this needs to be black here. So we're doing some painting and some Velcroing on the next pieces here. One other piece that we're going to be working in with the ab section is the cod piece, because the cod piece, I forgot to mention, actually attaches right here. So we're going to put that on there. It gets a snap right here, and the snap connects actually to the posterior armor. So we're going to start working in a whole bunch of pieces, because this ab piece is going to start working in a whole bunch. So the posterior armor just gets some snaps. That's all it's going to get before it needs to be put back on. And I did forget to mention, the inside of the abdominal armor has snaps here that connects the posterior armor to the back, and then at the top you can see where I had snaps here and here in the front, and that connects this piece to that harness that are on the gaskets. So we have all the pieces to work in today. Now I know I said that I was just going to paint that little detail in the thermal detonator, but then I was like, well, if I'm breaking out the paint, let's just paint. So on the biceps there's these little groove details that are going to paint black. On the upper edge of the chest armor right here on this groove detail needs to have a black edge. Now some people cut this part out and put black behind it, much like I did here. These before were just painted in, but now they're all the way through, and I'm going to put a black piece behind that so we don't have to paint that. And then on the back, the circle on the back needs to be painted black, that one. The only thing that is up here that still needs to be painted that isn't up here is the helmet. So we're going to do all this for... There wasn't enough room on the table, otherwise I would have put the helmet up here. So we're going to go on a little bit of a painting palooza to just get this all done so I don't have to keep breaking out the paint, because, you know, messy fingers. everything that we painted this morning is now dry and it looks really good. The biceps are done with their pills. The chest is done with the upper curvature and the recess. The abdominal front box is painted, so the ab section is done besides just strapping it all back together. The back has its paint, and then probably the coolest thing I've painted so far is the lines came out really good on the end of the thermal detonator, the black cap, that, and that. So now it's time to go tackle that helmet, and I did bring it out already into the kitchen here. So she's all ready to be painted. So she's up next, so that way I can put away the paint stuff. Lindsay's sick of me taking over her countertop.
No, I don't mind.
Oh, she minds. Every wife minds. She's saying she doesn't mind, but it's not fair. So we're gonna clean up the kitchen so we can have only one destroyed room in the house. Because right now, Phasma's kind of all over the house, so. Let's do this. We can do it. Well, this is 2 coats of paint, and we're waiting for it to dry before I'm going to make sure I touch up everything. But, boy, is it nice to see my Captain Phasma face again. The all-chrome I was really not a fan of. It was bothering me to no end, because it creeped me out, because it's like, that's not my helmet. But, that's my helmet. It'll look even better once I put the visor in it, but man, that's a big step in the right direction, and it makes me feel so happy to have her back in a state of looking like her old self. So, and man, does she look pretty. I'm very happy with it came out. I'm happy to have that stressful done, but now we're going to do some stuff while she drives, and then we'll make sure she's all touched up later. But I think we're going to go tackle some stuff. I don't know what. I think we're going to go assemble the ab section is what we're going to do next. So we are going to assemble the ab section, attach the posterior armor to the back, cod piece on. We're going to get the belt. In the belt boxes we have different belt boxes. So this is the lineup for TLJ, and then this is what gets interchanged. Like this one goes on to here, and then this one comes off and goes on to here for Force Awakens. So we've got all those, and they're going to get attached to, this is the belt. It is a rubber belt, just like the gasket is rubber. And we're going to screw them on through the back, through the armor, so they're nice and secure. And then we're going to put the thermal detonator on the back. So we're going to get that all assembled, because I leave that all as all one big piece. So it'll be nice to get that big piece all done and put back together. after much trial and error, we have the abs, posterior, codpiece, thermal detonator, and all the belt boxes back on in one piece. I would pick it up and show it to you nicer. I'll do that in the morning, but I got some glue drying here and I don't want to mess that up. I had to replace a belt buckle, so that's all. That's kind of what took me so long. I was on a real roll, and I reattached things differently. Last time I just used Velcro to hold these on. This time I did screws, and I think it's going to be much more secure, less likely to lose a belt box, which we don't want to lose anything on Phasma. So, but she's looking really good, and I did check on the helmet. I touched up a few more spots off camera, but I mean, it's all the same painting, but she looks pretty now. That's the Phasma face we know and love, and we'll get the visor back in there probably tomorrow. But we're doing good. Getting this done today, that was a major victory. Our pieces on the floor are dwindling, so tomorrow we're gonna start, in the morning, we're gonna start with the chest and back, and then we'll move on to arms, and then the hands, and then the very last thing we'll do is pad the helmet. So, we don't have too many pieces left to do. I'm very excited. Yeah, she's looking really good. I'm happy with how everything's turning out. I'm happy with the way my paint job turned out. Happiness all around, no sad faces. Couple bumps in the road with refitting the belt, but to be expected. There's always something that's gonna cause some issue, right? So, we'll see you in the morning. And just like that, it is morning time, and the belt repair went well, so now the ab section's all better, and I've got TLJ on her this morning, and then the Force Awakens have the patches, or the pouches, not patches. So, they're up here. We're kind of preparing to wear her as TLJ right away when I first get her on, because TLJ is the more shiny of the two armors, so we're going to wear her like that for a little bit. So we're going to start with the chest armor this morning. We have to put some black fabric behind here to make these show up black. And then we just need to put some Velcro here, here, and here, because this will clamshell together over. This is the yoke of the back armor, and it goes on just like that. So these two pieces kind of go together, so I'm going to be working on them kind of simultaneously, but that's what we're going to start with next. So while we're waiting for the snaps to dry on the shoulder bells and the back yoke piece, because the shoulder bell is attached to the back yoke piece with just some snaps, and then I have elastic with snaps already pre-done. That's one of the joys of some of the stuff is going back together, and then the padding, this is padding that I put over the snaps so the snaps don't dig into my shoulders. The chest turned out really good. I found some, I didn't tell you about this because I forgot I had it. This is sticky felt that I got sent when my Chewbacca, so put that on the back side, and we got the fabric in there, so we got all the black dots now. And that sticky felt, I wish I would have found it sooner. I would have used it instead of using all the little Velcro dots. But the Velcro dots are a little taller, so I use those for some of the ridge parts that might be rubbing, because the felt is thinner. So while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to have Lindsay help me. We're going to put the biceps and the forearms back onto my rubber gaskets over here. I've had them laid out so they got all the kinks out last night, hopefully. But I just have some Velcro patches holding them on here, but they can be kind of futzy to do by myself. So I'm inquiring help from the wife. So that's the next thing, and I'm glad there's no audio because there's probably not going to be appropriate words said. I'm not looking forward to putting these back on. They were kind of a pain the first time, so I imagine they'll be no different this time. So wish us luck. Well, I'm happy to report. Actually, no bad words were said, and it went way better than anticipated. It's because I told you it was going to go bad that it didn't go bad.
Yep.
But they're back on. I had to go get my Under Armour shirt because the rubber gaskets, they will literally pull all your arm hair out. It hurts so bad. So after doing it twice, I was like, I gotta get my Under Armour shirt. So that's why the costume changed, so to speak. But yeah, it's nice to have her. Like, the key is making sure the forearm armor stops right at the wrist, because the wrist armor otherwise ends up underneath here. So I'm going to have to put some padding. That's the next thing I have to do with these. I got to put some padding right here, but other than that, these are all back together. So now we're just on to, so I'll put some padding under here next with, I think I'm going to use that this felt stuff. So this, I don't know where he got this. This was sent to me by Paul, the maker of my Chewbacca costume, and it's like felt that has sticky on the back, so we're going to put that under here to help with, it's either that or I might, because this is such a big area for my wrist, I might use, my mom gave me this. This is like, it's like foam rubber that has adhesive on the back. She had a student that was in a wheelchair and he had pressure points, so they used that for that. And I've used this in Chewbacca to pad things, and it's really nice because it's dense and it'll keep these sharp edges. Like right now they're even digging into my wrist, so it'll help keep the sharp edges. I just have to find, I've got a piece, this is the end of the roll, so it's extra curly, so it wants to peel up from itself. So I'm going to find the other pieces, but I think that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll check on the shoulder belts, because now it's giving them like 20-30 minutes to dry. Sometimes the super glue takes longer to dry on the plastic, and especially because they have that top coat even on the underside from overspray.
Yeah.
So I think that top coat's taking it longer to adhere to it, which is fine. Sometimes it's better to take a little extra time with super glue than to rush it. And then, unfortunately, we have to go to Hand Armor City.
I shouldn't laugh, but I know how tedious that's going to be.
So the why I'm complaining is I had all these, like, on the back of each one, I labeled them, like, left thumb. So, like, left thumb. This is actually the tip of the thumb. But because of the overspray, I can't read any of my letters, so I have to literally redo it all. So we're gonna be going to a different room for that. We're gonna go to the living room for that. So after this, it'll be a lot of times lapse and a lot of less explanation, because the next time you'll hear me explain something is when we're gonna move on to the helmet. So that's the next. Wish me luck with the fingies. All 50 pieces. And when I mean 50 pieces, I mean just the finger art part. I'm not talking about the hand guards and the wrist. Those are going to take about 5 seconds to pop on, so I'm not... They're not the ones I'm arguing about, it's this hand armor. I mean, this is the most sexy look you could ask for early in the morning.
Totally.
This is what Lindsay woke up to this morning. Buff Phasma. Well, it didn't take as long as I thought. It only took an hour to do both pairs of gloves. They're back together. The Force Awakening gloves here are much harder to do because I literally dremeled each one of these pieces to match a certain finger, and the labels on the inside were all gone, so that's why I was dreading these so much. I don't think I got them back on the right finger, but they at least look somewhat correct. They're not my favorite gloves because they've got the C-3PO style fingers, and I mean, you can't do anything. The only thing fun you can do with them is when you wear both pairs, you can click them together very evilly. But that's about it. The TLJ is they're my fave. I mean, they're cool. You still have your whole palm, so you can still pick stuff up, touch stuff, and then you have really good articulation with them. And I think they look cooler, to be honest. If I have to pick a favorite, the TLJ gloves are definitely my favorite. But they look great, and they turned out great, and it didn't take as long as I thought. So now we have to move on to the helmet, and I bought her a new visor, so we have to... This is her old visor. We're going to get her a brand new one, so we get to boil some water to contour a visor. Because if you're going to snap it. So next we get to play with hot water. So we'll do that, and then we're going to put the padding in the helmet, and that's it. We did it. So that's all we have left to do. So the helmet's at last, and we're done. And then I'll probably chat with you, but then we're going to do a full test fit today and see how well I did. Well, we did it. We theoretically have her all back together. It's nice and padded in here. I made sure I got the edge of the visor here, so I biffed my nose on it once before I put padding on it, and holy man did that hurt. But this is the view you get inside the Phasma helmet. It is hot in there because the foam is nice and hot, but it is nice and secure. And this is soundproofing foam. I bought it to help dampen the noise of Chewie's stilts, but great padding helmet padding. You get what I'm trying to say. But now, the fun part. Everybody's back together theoretically. I always say theoretically because the first test fit of when you put something back together is, you never know if you did it right. So, we'll put her together and see if we did it right. So, I'm excited. I'll have to rearrange, pop my contacts in, and a couple other things. So, and then we'll time-lapse her putting her on. So, super excited. I haven't put her on in like 2.5 years, so I'm like so stoked to get back into her. Even putting the helmet on, I was just like giddy. We did it! We have a Captain Phasma costume back on, and I think she looks pretty freaking cool. You may have been wondering what we were doing with all the pictures and the front, back, and like, we're sending Phasma to prison, but no, we're not. It's like, we're sending her, that's the Centurion approval pictures we were taking. We still got a few more to take, but I was like, they don't need to watch this. So, we did it! Woo! Usually I wear a microphone, so I'm just trying to talk extra loud, so hopefully it's not too muffled. But I think she looks pretty freaking cool, if I do say so myself. I like it. I think she looks good. I wish I was slightly taller so the helmet sat up a little bit more, but I'm short. If the helmet sits up anymore, I can't see it all, so it is what it is. I'm a short guy. I'm supposed to be taller, but I think it looks pretty cool. Mini Phasma it is, and I'll claim that title. But thank you so much for following along on my rebuild of my Phasma. Wish me luck, and we'll be doing a full like how to put her on and not time lapse. Now that we have all the kinks worked out and got all the missing Velcro and stuff, so we'll get a brand new video of that because my old one's kind of outdated and needs to be updated now because she looks much cooler now. Because I'm so shiny. I don't know the whole song, so I won't sing. And I suck at singing. So, thank you for watching. Thanks for coming along on our shiny adventure. Bye!